Well, what a happy day for Reed's Gumtree Bookstore. We have America's darling of the book world, Shelby Van Pelt, is in Tupelo. Um, she's been all over the country. She's going all over the world pretty soon. And today, she is in Tupelo, Mississippi. And at the moment at our Reed's Gumtree Bookstore, we just came back from a real um, packed house at the Lee County Library where we had over 200 of her fans spellbound, getting to hear what Shelby had to say. Before that, we're at Tupelo High School with a couple of hundred English students at Tupelo High School. And Shelby, welcome to Reed's and to Tupelo, and thank you for allowing us to be on your travel tour. And we're so glad to have you.
Oh, it's such an honor to be here. This is just such a charming town. I am truly charmed. We had a delicious lunch.
Yeah,
Just
simply sweet.
so much good stuff here. And the people, what a great group we had, both at the high school and at the library today. Just some really engaged readers, some really engaged young people
Yeah.
who asked, honestly, some kind of difficult
I
questions.
thought they were. I think if they wrote them down, they could be a little more direct than maybe if they had to raise their hand.
Yeah, we were trying to talk about the future of artificial
Yeah,
intelligence.
yeah.
We got into it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, of course, the book is for those who haven't read it yet, and I hope you will still. We still have some autographed copies still here at the bookstore if you want one. I'm sure it'll be more valuable. This first edition autographed copies of her book will only go up in value, trust me. But it's about the relationship primarily between an octopus and a 70-year-old cleaning lady at an aquarium in the Pacific Northwest, and then there's a whole another unwrapped human story of finding family and belonging and taking chances and just a wonderful, heartwarming story too. But I think the New York Times, as you said, kind of made that octopus book uh, kind of a name in itself about the book because that's what's the most unusual part about it. So, just briefly, just comment on who is Marcellus and how did he show up in your mind?
Well, I always say it's a book about an octopus that's not actually about an octopus.
Yeah, well said.
Marcellus the octopus is he's kind of a narrator. He's kind of a binding agent that brings together some very imperfect humans who are actually struggling with some of the same things that Marcellus
Yeah,
himself is
yeah.
struggling with. Marcellus is a captive octopus at the end of his lifespan. Um, Giant Pacific octopuses have the longest lifespan of any octopus, but that still is only about 5 years, 4 to 5 years, even in captivity under the best of conditions. So
So
he is,
it's just like how long you get to go to college.
yeah, yes, he's a senior. He would be a senior in college, and he is a senior octopus.
Yeah.
So he, starting out the book, is almost indifferent to the humans. He is just resigned to sort of this fate of the end of his life is going to be in this tank that he never wanted to be in. And then he starts to make friends with one human in particular who he's in contact with and starts to, I think, have a little bit of hope
Yeah.
that he might be able to do something with what he has left in his life. And very much a similar path that the humans in the book follow,
Yeah.
similar lessons they need to learn about about connecting with one another, about embracing some of their own vulnerability to make those meaningful
Yeah.
connections. And really just it's kind of never too late to do something different, to get off of a path that you're stuck on.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a wonderful story. I mean, there are a lot of life lessons in there. There are a lot of metaphors there, and there's a lot of humor in it. If
I
you think,
tried.
you did. Well, I think, for example, on the first page, he says Marcellus introduces himself. He says, "I'm a giant Pacific octopus," and these humans that walk by the outside of the tank basically they call me that guy, as in, look at that guy. Whoa, look at that guy. And he said, that's actually not my name. My name is Marcellus Macascudish or something.
Marcellus McSquiddles.
McSquiddles,
McSquiddles.
McSquiddles.
He
But
doesn't like the McSquiddles part.
you don't use that a lot, the rest of the book. But and think about, if you were a fish or an octopus inside a tank and all you saw were human beings walking by every day, what would you think of the human race? And that's kind of his point of view. So
Yeah.
that's a great uh, fresh way to think about it. As you said, think of an unusual narrator. And then the human part of it is really sweet too, and it involves different generations and family finding family and having some bumps in the road, hanging in there,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing too. So I don't want to give it away too much spoiler alert since it is a wonderful novel. But I guess finally, uh, Shelby, you're talk a little bit just about what your life has been about the last 2 years. The book was published in 2022. What's been happening other than now? One of the best days ever being here in Tupelo.
It has been a very fantastic day. Yeah, having a book come out and become a bestseller is nothing short of life changing. I'm sure I don't need
Yeah.
to tell all of you that, but I was a stay at home parent when I wrote this book. I had previously had a different career that had nothing to do with writing. I kind of came to writing as a self taught author. I started doing it as a hobby. Never thought that I would be out on a book tour talking to 200 people in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Uh, so, I got a few lucky breaks along the way. Definitely, octopuses are having such a cultural moment right now. And it's so exciting to be a part of that and to be out, in the world talking to people, not just about my book, but about books generally.
Yeah.
I feel like books are maybe also having a little bit of a
Yeah.
moment.
I think so.
Um, and just sort of I always think of what does a book bring into the world? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't really set out to write a book that would change people's minds about some
Uh,
big issue,
uh,
but I think it does sort of do these little nudges.
yeah. Absolutely.
I've talked to
It
so
can.
many readers who didn't know anything about octopuses before they read it,
Yeah.
and now they do know something, and
Yeah.
maybe that inspires people to care a little bit more about our natural world.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, also some, and you mentioned some of the readers who have come up to you and talked about the meaningfulness of the human characters in the book too, and how those kind of digging just one layer deeper in a relationship than how are you? I'm fine, great, and then moving on and really seeing people a little more holistically and listening and all of those things. Well, I hope that you will remember Tupelo fondly as your
Very
career
fondly.
goes, and I hope you will come back when and if your next book you decide to put one out on the waters. I hope you'll come back to our bookstore in
I would
Tupelo.
love to.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Safe travels.
Thank you.